howdy, hi. How are you guys doing today? Thank you for joining me on my channel. Today we are going to do a Zen Doodle, not a Zen Doodle, sorry, my bad. We are going to do a Zen Doodle. Sorry, I just got back from my walk. I'm a little flustered. What's going on here? Oh, my other one's in here. So yes, today we will be morphing. The last Zen Doodle that I did here was something to this account. Was this it? No, this wasn't it. I think this was the one we did. So this was the last Zen Doodle we did, and I decided to call it Cosmic Pebbles. Isn't that cool? So then after that, I told you all I would morph it, and this is me morphing it, working with some ideas. I wanted to get the halo effect around those circles, the bigger circles. Anyways, I wanted to kind of get that, and I was working with the shading being on the outside versus the inside of the circle. See, that's the inside of the circle, and this is on the outside of the circle. I don't think I really dig the outside of the circle. I'm more of an inside circle girl. So I dig that. Then I went to working with different types of shading materials. This purpley look is a pastel. I did not like that at all. It was it didn't shade out, it didn't feather out, smudge out very well. So I really didn't dig it, and it left like a residue that I couldn't go with the Sharpie or my pen back over. It kind of wouldn't let it sink in. I don't know what that word is. Yeah. All right, moving forward. Then we went to a watercolor pencil, a colored pencil, which I thought I was going to dig, but I really didn't. It just didn't, again, disperse out like I wanted to. I think the graphite, I just love that graphite so much, the way it smudges out so effortlessly. So maybe I'm lazy, but I dig that more. Also, I dig the whole not going perfectly square, and I will probably start doing that from here on out. The pressure of doing a perfect square is too much for me. So I like, let's just change it up. Again, what did I use for the outside of this? I think, oh yeah, this was a watercolored pencil. And again, I didn't really dig it. It just never, I wanted to get rid of the harsh line and just go more smoothly out. So that brought me to this winner. And this, my friends, is what we will be doing today. I love this. What do I love about this? Hold on, I got a cough. I love the fact, I don't really dig this inside business because then again, I was still playing with the colored pencils and the smudging and how things work. Again, here you can see I did the red and then I took the pencil out. I like that okay, but not a lot. I much prefer this graphite smudge out here. And I totally don't dig that pink thing there. If you dig it, cool, do it. I'm just showing you a couple different ways and what works best, and maybe you want to try it in your next piece. But what I really, really love is I used the colored pencils on the outside, and then I took the charcoal graphite and smudged out off of that. And I super duper duper love that. So this is what we will be doing today. Yay! I am going to clear the dust, get my utensils. We will be working with a 3.5-inch square like this. We will be working with a pencil. I'm going to go with a Sharpie today. I like doing that because it really helps to do the inside lines. And a smudging stick or a Q-tip, or you can use your finger. And I'll use this pencil instead. A color pencil, which I have yet to pull out, but I will. So let me zoom in, and I'll be right with you. So just an interesting little side note, I got these pencils that I use at the Dollar Tree. I guess now it's the $1.25 tree, although I'm noticing it's $3 or $5. But I think I got these for $1. There's two different kinds. There's more, these two are more like mechanical type pencils, and these are just a dual-sided, you get a lot of colors in the box kind of thing. So this project does not have to put you in the hole monetarily wise. Just keep it simple, you know. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, and if you don't have a colored pencil, that's just fine. You can use a plain old graphite. You just won't get these colors in here, but that's what we're doing. All right, so let's get started with the Cosmic Pebbles Morphed. As we start this, I just want to take a moment to take a deep breath. Let go of today's problems, your problems, their problems, all problems. We are going to take the next 30 minutes and just spend it for ourselves, tuning out any of the world's issues. So we'll take another moment to take a deep breath. Have our energy just come into the room. And we are going to be. All right, let's get started. I am going to start with a wonky kind of border. Once you get your border in, just like the last time, if you're a perfectionist and you want like a totally perfect circle, find something in your house and trace it. If you're that type of person that you living on the wild side and you just want to do a wonky amoeba kind of shape, kind of looks like a fish, maybe an arrowhead, you can do that too. Or just try and do your best at freehanding a circle. So these, I'm just going to quickly go through this because this is almost exactly like the last video that I did. But we are not going to touch the insides of these just yet. So go ahead and put little marks in them, and that will tell you not to go inside these boundaries here. All right? So the next thing we want to do is come in with our pen. Now, if you are a super crafty, great person and you have all the confidence in the world, you could have done all that in pen. I am not like that. Sometimes I like to change things up, move things, and so that's why I will do them in pencil. So now that we're here at this point, we like where we have everything. Go ahead and do your boundary. Oh no, my pen has dried up. I was working on a big project and I used this pen on top of some acrylic paint. I'll show you the project. It was a custom order. That was a bag I hand painted for somebody. It's all very sparkly. I love it. But for some of the details on it, I used this pen, and apparently I messed up one side of it. Now this looks rather messy. I get it. It does. Don't worry about it. We're coming back later to thicken it up and define it a bit. So we're going to take and outline all of these. Notice I'm being rather quick about it. I'm not. We're going to thicken these lines up too. We just need to have these borders for when we do all that circle dotting business. So, okay, we got that. I'm going to come back with an erase. We're going to now erase your lines. Don't erase these lines inside here, but erase all the other lines. Now, if you're a brainiac, you can go ahead and erase those too. However, I'm not a brainiac and I will inevitably screw it up. So I just like those visual reminders not to go inside these spaces. However, there are superstars out there that can remember that, and if you can go ahead and erase those now. We are going to go in here and make some big circles, some not so big circles, and some really big circles. Stay inside this area. Don't go inside these 3 areas. But you just want to make various size circles. You can make them coming off of these shapes. You can make them coming off of the border, like so. I will say the more white space that you can do here, the more visually pleasing this your circles will show up. See how I've got these circles coming off of, don't make them flower petaled, just randomly do it. But the more circles you have coming off of these bigger circles, the more they're going to pop up off. Okay, so let's do that. See how I'm pulling that out, and then you'll do a small one. This portion is going to be exactly like what we did on the last video. If you want to check out that video, I will be going much slower in that video, and you can do the Zen Doodle there. If you feel like this is going pretty quick, that's because we really kind of already did this Zen Doodle. I will be slowing down when we get to the morphed areas where I switched up and did something different than the last video. So I'm going to stop the camera. This is rather time consuming. So you just take your time, hit the pause button on this so it stops, and make your little circles. Remember to keep them random. Some are big, some are medium, and some are smaller, but wait to do the very, very small ones. I'll be back when I finish doing all these, okay? Okay, now that we've got our large, medium, and smallish, we're going to go in for our itty-bitty small circles. So all this space that is open here, you see this little space in here and that little space in there. Now we're going to do very small circles. Again, you can vary them up, but these are all going to be smaller type circles. Okay, so see, those are some small, where are they? These are some small circles right here. What you're going to do is go in between there and fill that in. And if you wear readers, you may want to use them. Some areas will be too small to put a circle. That's all right. Just fill it in with the black ink or whatever ink you're using. Okay, I'm just checking in. Make sure yours is kind of sort of looking like this. Random size circles, filled in boundaries. Don't worry about the little wacky places. We're going to go in and clean that up. But you just want to do the entire border and around these 3 pieces, and you just want to do that all the way around, okay? So I'm going to stop the camera because this will be very long if I sit here and film all of this one step. All right, I'll be right back. So I've thickened these up. I've gone in and I've just kind of darkened in here. We are going to go back later and clean all this up after we get all the circle work done. Now we're going to start working inside these areas here. What I want you to do is take your pen, and again, just like we did in these areas here, I want you to draw, we'll start with the small one first. We'll start with this, we'll do a big circle. When you do these, leave a little, dang, I keep going out of, do the boundaries, do your border, darken up your border if you wish, darken up these areas, your objects inside the border, darken those up a bit if you wish. And while you're doing that, I'll take a moment to show you a photo of somebody who sent their work in, somebody that's been doing some Zen Doodles. I want to thank Sherry Garza Pope for sending in her artwork to me and letting me show it off here. She's doing a great job. She's definitely excelling, going above and beyond. Now she's creating her own works of art. I think that's fabulous. I'm so happy. Okay, so we've done those. Now what I want you to do is pick one of your objects and go in and make bigger circles. Now when you make these circles, I want you to try and leave a white space on the outside of it, okay? So we are going to do, and you can even do these circles coming off of one another or just by themselves. This is a smaller circle, so it's a little more difficult for me to put up a bunch of varieties in. I do take sometimes and I will pull a circle right off the border of that. See that right there? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and turn those into halos, those outside. So I'm going to essentially put another circle inside. But if you've gone and you have made a circle that butts up against that, make sure you leave a little white space in there. See how I did that? This is how this is different from the last one that we did. We didn't do the rings around the darker circles. And what we're going to do is we're going to shade these in. See how I did that? So let me do this one that comes off the... So what we're going to do is we're going to create our dark circle inside. And we want to bring that circle right up. Don't let the black circle portion hit that border. See how that is? And if it does, whatever. This is your first one. You get to practice. Make it perfect. You also get to add little things that you want to see. Like maybe that's what the whole morphing experience is about, is just trying out ideas. You know, art is nothing but hypothesis in motion. See how I'm doing that? It'll be easier if we do one of the bigger ones. But then you just want to go in and put in random size black dots everywhere you can. And I myself try and leave space on all sides of anything black. See how that is? All right. And where is that eraser? All right, so now we're going to hit this wonky one over here. I'm going to do a couple and then I'll be back to discuss. Make sure we're all on track. All right, I'll be right back. So are you guys thinking, wow, that's all taking a lot of ink, BA? I know it is. So that's also why I started doing these, I forgot. I started implementing these little guys in here, the rings and the rings. It also adds some coolness to it all. I love just adding one more dimension to your piece. If these big rings, all this black work is killing you, go ahead and make a couple rings out of that, you know. And if you think of something else to add into this that you want to do, go for it, man. Art is all about morphing. It's about morphing and it's about fixing mistakes. That's why I always say the perfection is in the imperfections. So as you can tell, I've gone in and I've just done my halos around my circles. And so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do all the little black dots to fill in that area. All right, so I'll be back. So there we are. I've got all my little dark dots filled in. See how that one dot is starting to lift? And then when we go and create that shadow border around it, it's really going to bring these up off the white dots here. So let's erase the last one and finish it up. That one's going to be a little tricky right there. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll see. Me trying new things. More of this space that you can fill in with these bigger circles, the less time consuming everything's going to be with filling in all those little smaller circles. And two, again, I've learned with these bigger circles to do like the double, triple rings. Now that I know that some of you are out here doing my Zen Doodle tutorials and you're sending your work into me, I want to know, what are you doing with your Zen Doodles? Are you keeping them hidden away in a little journal, or are you turning some of them into postcards and sending them to people? I just want to know what you're doing with them or what you hope to do with them. I have been thinking about what I'm going to do with all the Zen Doodles I'm doing for this tutorial. I know sometimes when I practice, I'll start out on a small piece like this, and then I'll go to a larger piece to make postcards and send out. Like this piece is big enough for a postcard to get sent out. So I'll do that. But I have been thinking about, what am I going to do with these little 3.5-inch cards? How am I going to morph that into another piece of artwork? I don't know what we're going to do. I'm curious what you guys are all doing with yours. If you are interested, I do have books that I sell. I make and sell for doing these. Actually, all kinds of artwork. They're called Get Out of My Head art journals, art books. It's just a book. I hand paint the cover, and the inside has about, I guess, 50 pages of just like cool art paper, all kinds of paper, watercolor paper, mixed media paper. So if you'd like to check out one of those, head over to my website. Like I said, I'm just trying to think up of more ways to use these. I can use them for like, what are they called? Decoupage, art pieces, working them into other artworks on my canvas, mixed media stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And if you find that that's too much stress to be thinking about what you're going to use with it, or you get stressed out about maybe letting strangers look at your work, you know what? That's fine. Just keep a little book and keep them, because you'll want to look back on them when you're doing something, and you want to look back on what you've did, or, you know, maybe you want to morph what you've learned here today into something that's all your own. Or maybe after you learn a couple of these, you'll want to combine them to make your own piece of art. Like you saw in Sherry's piece that I just showed earlier. She's adding a whole lot of different stuff to what she's learned. So it's cool. So I'm going to finish this back up and, oh, I'm out of stupid focus again. I'm going to finish this back up and I will be right back. Alrighty, I'm going to try and keep it in the focus center now. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, it's done. The insides are done. The outside is done. Now we can go in. I'm going to wait for cleanup mode after we do the shading portion, I think. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's go into our shading. What I want to do is go in around the inside objects and just lay down some graphite. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're just laying it down right up against that circle. Okay? The idea is not to color, we're just putting in the graphite around those circles. Because when we go and smudge them, it will disperse and we will move it around to where we need it. So just go in right on the edge of those circles or rounded objects and put that in. I love this part. It's almost like magic, the way it all comes in. And then I want you to go in and pick out your colors if you have colored pencils and just pick areas and draw right on those edges right there. Maybe you're using a solid color, just one color. I am not. I'm using several colors. And if you don't have colors, that's fine. Go ahead and use that pencil. You can put your pencil line in over here. Okay, see? All done rather messily, right? And now we're going to do pencil just on the outsides of that. Not a lot, just a little. Just kind of trace on the very outside of that. Again, you don't have to be nice and neat about it. I'm such a fan of color. This is how we Zen Doodle kind of differs from Zen Tangle. Zen Tangle is typically just a black and white deal. They also are big about the whole doing the square borders and I don't know, it has a lot of, I guess, rules with it, whereas Zen Doodle's kind of just an intuitive go with it. I'm not saying Zen Tangle isn't intuitive. There is a certain amount of intuitiveness to it, but maybe Zen Doodle is just a little more freer, whereas Zen Tangle's got like almost a science philosophy behind it. So, all right, we put in our color, we've put in our graphite. Now we're just going to smudge it out. So I would tell you to start with the inside pieces first because those are just the plain graphite and you don't want to mix up any color in here. So just go on those lines that you penciled in and smudge them out. You can do this with a little rolled up piece of paper like I have, or you can use a Q-tip. And if you don't have any of that, you can always use your finger. Yeah, that's lifting. And then we can come in with our eraser and clean up the inside edges. Then move to the outside. And again, you're not really bringing out that red and you're not bringing out your colors. You're just bringing out your pencil, the graphite. We're just smudging that out. Blurring the line between the graphite and the color pencil. I just applied to get a scholarship to get certified in Zen Tangle, so I'll let you guys know how that turns out. It would be fascinating to take those classes and really hear what the whole Zentangle experience is about from true professionals. I do use these techniques in my artwork, and I've actually had some Zentangle, a certified teacher in Zentangle, approach me and be like, maybe a little snooty about it. I didn't realize that they paid so much money to get certified and took all these classes, so I had to change my sales speech to be like, oh yes, it's Zentangle with a storytelling. Hipsters on patrol, watching Scarlets on a stroll. Or Zen Doodle with storytelling, because that's my artwork, is kind of tells a story when I work. So I just kind of clean up some of these edges here. It kind of makes it pop a little bit more when you have these cleaner spaces. And there, man. That is it. That is the jam, as they say. How cool is that? I love this. I don't know. See, that's why I say keep. This is what we started with, right? Actually, was this what we started with? We started with, I think this was the original that I did. No, this was the original. So I started with that. Then I morphed into this. And then a lot of morphing later, this is what we end up with. So that's why I say, learn it here. And then go do your own thing. Add your own personality to it. Isn't that so cool? I love that. Oh, I feel so good, don't you? Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate you sending photos in of your work. I would love to share them. Definitely reach out and tell me what you're doing with your Zen Doodles. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't. All right? Well, I'm going to wish you a wonderful evening, and peace, love, and rocks. You guys take care. Bye-bye.